Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to start this off real quick here. We got to tell me something good. Morning, Cindy Griffey. Look at there. She's always running late. Howdy, howdy, howdy. All right. Tell me something good, you guys. Something exciting. Other than the fact I just burst the bubble on Christmas on Monday. What do you got? Bring something else.
I got something.
I have something good.
All right. Let's go. Who wants to go first?
Okay. So
Cindy, go.
I opened the largest Zillow sale, 3.3 million yesterday.
Nice.
Nice Zillow call. Yeah.
I love
I'm excited about that. We went back and forth for a good week and a half. So it was thought sometimes it wasn't going to happen, but perseverance.
There we go. Relentless. Yeah. Never give up.
That's it.
That's good. So when did you get the lead?
I got the lead probably about a month ago, and they were here on vacation and visiting his brother's family, and it's up in Honeka'a, so it's like boonies, right? And he calls on this MacNut farm. It's like 30 acres. And so I meet him up there they want to see it the next day. So I showed it to him, and the brother and the whole family come. They fell in love with it. And he went home and he kind of, played with his finances and called me and said, yeah, let's go for it. So it was, the guy had paid like $2,750 a year ago and wanted 3.99. So he wanted to make $1 million+ in a year. And my buyer goes, I'm not putting $1 million in his pocket just because he wants it. So we had to play that game. How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
So we got him down considerably, but everybody's happy. So
nice. Well, congratulations. What a good turning ratio too for an internet lead.
Yeah.
Right. Usually those are like 2 years. So good for you.
I know, it was quick.
Congratulations. All right, Rachel, go for it.
Wow, that's amazing, Cindy. That's you always get those amazing Zillow leads. Dang, I love it. I am showing 8 houses today and 6 tomorrow. Whoa. So that's pretty amazing. I think that's my personal best for as many showings. So that's something fun and good. And it's and one of them's $1 million property today. So that's awesome.
Nice. One of them, we're going to manifest it right now and put it in the universe that it is going to come to fruition for you. And you're going to get something in escrow. So good job. Your efforts will not go in vain. I love it. We'll drive safe into your properties today. Good luck. All right. Anybody else? Something good. Shireen turned 21 last week. It's cool. You can go to the bar now legally and get a drink. Awesome. How does that feel?
Been going every night now.
You're like, I'm taking full effect of my 21-year-old ID now. Awesome. Well, happy birthday, belated, everybody. It was Shireen's birthday last week, so happy birthday, belated birthday. Someone else got something good? Come on. Somebody's got to have something. Maybe if it's something small. Maybe you got up early today, 15 minutes earlier than you ever done before. Maybe you worked out an extra hour, or you did 10 more steps in your stair climber. I don't know. Nothing, huh? You got nothing for me at all? Come on, y'all. This is a world of great.
Okay, Chris, I ran the numbers for our team, and we just had the best year we've ever had in 24. So we exceeded 21. It's not that the team is bigger. It's just we're learning how to work smarter, and that was pretty amazing to me. We just had our best year, and I had no idea it was what it was. I always tallied up before our Christmas party. So anyway, that was just so mind-blowing to me. So
I know, and I know the number. I know the number, by the way, and I'm not going to say it, but that's amazing. So good job. Congratulations to you guys.
Shireen, what do you attribute this year's success to?
I think helping, we finally can be, honestly, I think being able to get together as a team more, with COVID and all of that, I felt like the team was disconnected. And I feel like now we get together. I mean, tomorrow we're going to go up to Wahiawa all together to this really cool farm that just came on the market for $4 million. Then we're going to go to Barn to Table and have lunch because it just seems appropriate with that property. But I feel like the more we are getting together as a team and encouraging each other, I give Zillow leads out to the team, but that probably is a part of it as well. But really just, I think the camaraderie of everybody helping each other when they're out of town and kind of all coming together to make everybody a little stronger has been the key to our success this year. I do think that's it.
Nice.
Great. Yeah.
So that community is coming and paying off, that sense of community, yes? Essentially, Shereen?
Yes, I think so.
So it's jail in the jail. Awesome. Well, congratulations either way. Excited. Again, I know the number, but hopefully you break that to your team at your party. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, honestly, for this year too, it was just always quote unquote called a declining market, as we all have heard for the whole entire year. We are actually, as a team, for my team or our team, Freedom, we are down a little bit compared to last year. I mean, we did over 2,000 units last year. As of right now to date, I'm at 1,468. But we got 2 months left. That's November and December. So we'll see what we pull out of the hat as far as numbers. Yeah, I haven't got November's numbers yet for our team. But still, we're at just under 800 million in volume, which is still good. We're over, actually, I was 1.2 billion last year. So we'll see what happens this year. Again, declining market, but I'm excited for us. We're doing amazing as a team, as a whole. Again, attributed people like Shereen and her team. So thank you very much. I appreciate and love you guys to death. Awesome. All right. Well, morning, Jennifer McClellan. She always has that excited look on her face. Is Bo back there in the background? Bo's in the background somewhere. Tell Bo I said hi. Awesome. All right. So let's move on to our mortgage minute. Duncan, how are we looking? We got literally 2 weeks left in this 2023. What's happening for us? Oh, you're muted, my friend.
Yeah, I've got some good news on the mortgage front. Rates are actually down from the peak in October. As you probably know, rates hit over 8% on average in October, and they've come down almost 1% from there to the low sevens. So we've seen a nice decline in rates and a pickup in business overall as a result, volume. This morning, we had the inflation report come out, CPI. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
This is a chart showing the various measures of inflation over the last 12 years. And it shows that the PPI in blue, core PPI, CPI, core CPI, PCE, core PCE. So you can see everything is trending lower. We hit CPI over 9% last year, and we're coming down. So the trend is definitely lower. The hard part is that we got to get down to that 2% level for the Fed to stop threatening their rate hikes. This is a chart showing CPI in red, and then the shelter component in purple. That's a lagging indicator. That's picks up a 42% of the core CPI, and that clearly is not reflecting the actual live market. If you look at real-time shelter data, it would actually be much lower.
Hey,
but
Duncan.
Yeah.
We have the 30-year fixed mortgage rate chart up. Are you looking at a
Oh.
CPI chart?
Yeah, let me switch this. I think I have to stop sharing and reshare again.
Thank you, Stephen. I didn't even
Thanks,
catch see the screen, honestly. I
mean, the sentiment's the same. It climbs and drops.
Yeah.
I think that's the point, is the correlation. But
yeah, let me switch it to a different way to present it. And so here's that CPI chart I was talking about, with the trend going lower for all the different measures of inflation. And then the CPI in red here, and then you have the shelter component of CPI really lagging. And so that, as we know from live data, because they use 12-month lagging data on the rents, that actually will continue to push inflation lower. One of the tools I've shared with you guys before is there's a CME Fed Watch tools where you can see where futures traders are expecting rates to go, and this is for the Fed futures, or the Fed Open Market Committee. Currently, for this month, tomorrow there's a Fed meeting, and 98.4% people expect to keep rates the same, 5.25 to 5.5 target. By March, you're starting to see almost half of people are expecting the rates to be cut by March, and then a majority expect the Fed to cut by, here's where rates are now, majority expect the Fed to cut rates by June. And this shows the Fed open market committees their own projections for the Fed funds rate over the next few years. So if you look at everything in total, with inflation coming down, with the Fed going to be cutting rates starting next year, we're going to see rates get better. We're not going to see rates get better right away. It's not going to go. I mean, rates have already come down 1% from the high. It's not going to be a straight path down. We're likely going to see some bouncing, and with the Fed likely to keep saying that they're going to try to keep Fed policy tight, we're likely going to see some bouncing. But over the long term, we're going to see rates come back down. So that's a nice news for our market and for real estate. A couple other things I wanted to touch on today. There's the Fed meeting tomorrow. They almost certainly won't change rates, but they're going to keep talking up keep the tightening of policy and possibility of hiking rates again. One other thing, an update: the condo hurricane master insurance issue I've mentioned before, where actually now all local lenders are not funding the buildings here in Hawaii for with the master hurricane insurance is not 100% covering. There are now Finance Factors was doing it, but they stopped. They announced last week that they're not going to be financing those condo buildings anymore. They suspended that. We still have 2 national lenders that are financing those buildings. One is a national lender that does non-agency loans. So they do full doc and DSCR and bank statement, those types of loans. A little bit higher rate than conventional loans, but they have confirmed that they do not check, they do not have a minimum hurricane coverage requirement. And we have another one that does agency loans that hasn't been checking, but we don't know how long that's going to last. So we got a couple options. I've got loans in process with both of those lenders. So if you guys have any issues or know of any with listings or buyers that are looking to buy in those buildings, we can help them out. And that's it for today. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Duncan. Appreciate that. Always giving a good update on it. So we have some light in the tunnel, I think. Yep. Definitely not going to continue to skyrocket. So there's some pressure you can take off your plate for a minute there on that. Let's get back to business. 2024. I think we can forget about the conversation about interest rates and let's go after it. So with, again, light in the tunnel. So again, thanks, Duncan, for bringing that. Appreciate you always providing that value, sir.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great holiday.
You too.
All right. So moving on to our speaker of the day. I was blessed to meet both of these guys, actually, Joy and her amazing husband, Art. I said that, amazing husband, Art. I hope you heard that, Art. I met them both in the Big Island a couple weeks ago for the Level Up. They were out here. They came from San Diego. They're friends of Jill and Eric Magnuson. And Joy is an amazing individual with great content. She's a great created a company called the Rooted, right? The Rooted. What's it called? Yeah.
Rooted Mind.
Rooted Mind. Staying mindful of everything in life. So it was a great conversation. She spoke well. I love what she had. The content was great, especially navigating through the crazy times we have in our market today. Let alone what's going on in people's personal lives. Had a lot of great insights. So appreciate this opportunity to have you come on, Joy, and share again a little bit or a lot of whatever you kind of share with us at the Level Up. It was moving. So appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on. And I'd love for you to share with the group here what you shared with us there the other day at Level Up and introduce yourself. Thank you, Joy.
Thanks, Chris. I'm Jocelyn Felix. I go by Joy. I guess to start, I am a wife to Art. We've been married 25 years. We have 2 boys. They're both on the call. Thanks for the support, guys. Ryan is 21, a senior at USD, and Andrew is 24, and he is out of school. He is off the payroll. I was a registered dental hygienist in my previous life. Got my education and training at USC, and it got derailed because I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So life threw me curveballs. I'm not able to use that license anymore. So I decided I was going to reinvent myself. Many years down the road, I am proud to say I'm a licensed real estate agent. It's one other license I'm not using. But what I am using is my certification to teach mindfulness and self-compassion. So I teach an 8-week course to just get the mind right and mindful. But I also teach a 6-week course on how to be more compassionate with ourselves, treating ourselves like our friend, because oftentimes we don't. So that's what I do. Enough about me. Let's get started. I'm going to share my slide. I'm going to attempt to share a slide here. Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry.
That's right. That square box there with the arrow going up. If you click on that, it'll give you an option.
Yeah. So I would like to record this. Okay. I am going to share. Sorry, this is my son's computer and I have no idea what I'm doing.
No pressure. We're just being full of your opportunity to be here.
All I see is yeah, I think he's gonna have to come down and help me for a little bit here, but I'm gonna get started and not sorry, here he is.
He's like,
there he is. There's my son.
Hi.
All right, so just sharing my presentation. Oh, I can't share my screen. Hang on. Thanks
And
for
Chris, I appreciate the nice words. I'm just lucky
thanks
to
for
be
your
married to her.
patience, guys.
Art, I couldn't think of anything better to say. You're an amazing guy. I had to keep it PG too, by the way. So I was, you know me, I have a tendency to go off the trail a little bit.
Yes, and I have been a witness to that.
Said no one ever.
Slow down, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. I'm as clean as the priest in Catholic school on Sunday.
That one right there.
Hey,
Okay, I think we're getting somewhere.
Right, we have these challenges. This was Zoom. This was the new life has encountered us with technical difficulties, internet glitches. This is it. This is the new life.
Somehow it's not letting me share my screen, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going if that's okay with you.
You will.
So, yeah, thanks, Andrew. Oh, this is too bad.
No, there's no permissions issues on here. This is not like Zoom. Yeah, thanks, Stephen. But yeah, on Zoom, I had to give her like authority to be a host. But on Meetup, you can just click on that arrow. Everybody should have access to be able to click on the arrow down there and set present now. And it gives you a Chrome tab, a window, or entire screen that you can choose to share.
Yeah, so it's not allowing me to do it, but that's okay, because then I can just talk. So I wanted to start this talk with a story. I don't know if you've ever heard of the parable of the farmer and the horse. It's a Chinese parable. It starts with an old farmer and his son. They live in a small village and they tend to their land with the help of a horse. So one day the horse jumps the fence, runs away. So any other time, right, we would think this is a catastrophic event because your horse is gone. Who's going to help you with the land, right? So the neighbors come and they're like, oh, how terrible for you, your horse ran away. So the old farmer goes, being as mindful as he is, he says, maybe yes, maybe no, right? Maybe it's terrible, maybe it's not. So the next day or a couple of days later, the horse comes back and it brings with it two horse friends, right? Now there's three of them. So the neighbors come over and they're like, hey, this is wonderful for you. Again, the farmer goes, maybe yes, maybe no. So a few days pass and the son is training the new horses and he has an accident, falls off the horse's back and he breaks his leg. The neighbors come over and they're like, oh, this is horrible for you. Farmer says, maybe yes, maybe no. So a week goes by. Son still has a broken leg. And the army comes to the village, drafting men to fight in a war. So the son is exempted because of his broken leg. So the neighbors come over and go, oh my gosh, this is so great for you, right? So the farmer again says, maybe yes, maybe no. So what is mindfulness, right? The mindfulness part of this parable is allowing whatever unfolds in the present moment, acknowledging it for what it is, and accepting that there are things about it that you can't control, right? So mindfulness really is, and I wish I had my slides because I have great pictures of my kids on there. Mindfulness defined is present moment awareness, paying attention to the moment on purpose without judgment and attachment. Non-judgment, meaning just observing what unfolds, like I just said, not labeling them as good or bad, right? The farmer was really, really good about that. And then as he lets the moments unfold, it turns out it's neither good or bad, right? It just is. It works out the way it's supposed to. Non-attachment, like I said, acknowledging what comes up, accepting what's there, and not resisting, right? Or having an expectation of what the outcome should be, because our suffering mostly stems from our resistance to whatever is unfolding in front of us. And then there's also that element of impermanence, right? Triggers, situations, thoughts and emotions, they all pass. And if we just let them pass, they all work themselves out. One element of mindfulness that people don't often talk about that I love to include is self-compassion, right? Self-compassion is literally just treating ourselves as we would a friend when a friend is struggling. It is very mindful to give ourselves that compassion, to be okay with what's going on with the moment and allowing ourselves the space and the grace to be okay with things not working out at that moment and then allowing it to pass. So let's talk about how mindfulness works in real estate, right? Let's first talk about what things realtors stress about, right? Obviously, the market fluctuations. I heard Chris say today that the market's declining. Well, it's going to pick back up, right? Because it's just how the cycle works. Another thing that you guys probably think about a lot is finding a steady flow of clients. And then once you find that steady flow of clients, now you're working long hours, right? There's another stressor right there. And when you're working long hours, it affects your work-life balance, right? And when your work-life balance is off, your mind is off, right? But the one thing that I hear, most of the realtors that I know have this one commonality. It's the fact that when a relative or friend doesn't use them, they are triggered, right? Why didn't they use me? They hold on to it, they get mad about it. And now the focus is on that one person that didn't use you, right? So how mindfulness comes in is it allows you to adapt, to the fluctuating market, allows you to adapt to the busyness and the slow times. It allows you the self-compassion to give yourself a break when you're working those long hours so that you can find a little tiny bit of balance in there, because you can inject that whenever you want. That's a choice. And it also gives you the resilience to fight the stress, right? When we change our relation, and Chris heard me talk about this, and Shireen probably talk about this in Kona. When we change our relationship to stress, it actually makes the stressor not a problem. It's always the way we think about the stressor that is the problem. The way we resist it, the way we think it's a bad thing, instead of allowing it to just unfold and pass and cope with it, control what we can control, we end up kind of getting stuck in it. And we create stories, we have judgment, we have attachments. Mindfulness also allows you to improve your focus because it's the practice of paying attention. It enhances your concentration when you are with a client, during your interactions, during your negotiations, and even your daily tasks. Because I know that with real estate, there's a lot of busy work. It enhances your relationships, right? When you are self-compassionate, you have emotional intelligence, you understand what you're going through, and it allows you to understand what the other people are going through. And when things don't go your way, when that relative or friend doesn't use you, you don't take it personally. It's neither good or bad. There's a client there that's just for you. Prepare yourself to receive them, right? There are many ways we can practice mindfulness, right? there's always meditation. Meditation looks like formal and informal meditation. So for me, in the morning, I carve out maybe 15 to 20 minutes of my morning. My very first moments of awareness, I'm already in meditation. And for me, the meditation looks like prayer. So I am meditating on the word, and I am setting my intentions, and it really sets me up for the day. During the day, my informal practice comes in. Whenever something comes my way that may seem triggering, I will look at that and I will just say, you know what, this is what this is, and I'm going to figure out what I can control and just allow it to pass. But I also practice my mindfulness with my mundane activities, washing dishes, driving, taking a shower, cleaning my house. I find gratitude in a lot of my mundane activities, my daily tasks, right? When I am working on a coaching program for somebody, I am thankful for that. That is a very tedious thing for me to be working on because everybody's different and their needs are different, but I'm in that moment and I'm thankful that I'm able to make an impact in that person's life. So I've changed my relationship with things that come up just by being in that moment and finding that good, finding that gratitude in every single moment that comes my way. So mindfulness is paying attention, right? So when you practice mindfulness, you're focused on one thing, right? So when you're doing your mindfulness practice or meditation practice, usually it's you're focused on your breath, right? That's your brain's training to focus on one thing at a time. So why are we multitasking, right? Let me tell you about multitasking. When we have several different things going on, all these windows open in our brain, it takes a few minutes for our brain to actually focus on one task. And then you put another one in there, now it's shifting. It doesn't have the time to decompress from one task and focus on another. So sometimes when you're multitasking, you really feel like, what have I accomplished? There are some people that really do it well, but there are some times when you're like, I have all these things all these windows in my mind that are open and nothing got accomplished. So I would encourage you to really just focus on one task at a time. Do that really well. Take a step back from that when it's done, and then go right back into the next task. And I promise you, you'll probably feel a lot more productive without all the stress of multitasking and juggling several things at the same time. So feelings of overload and mental fatigue, they come from multitasking because the brain just doesn't have the time to decompress. Fun fact, the brain occupies, the brain is 2% of our body weight, 2%. So 98% is everything else. But 20% of the energy that we expend overall is used up by the brain. We are overloading our brains. So let's take a step back from that, detox a little bit, and allow the brain to just function the way it wants to function. Speaking of detox, there's technology detox. I will encourage you to make technology detox your morning practice. At least 30 minutes a day, 60 if you can. In the morning, like I said, I start my morning off with a meditation and a prayer. And then I don't go reaching for my phone. I do my thing. I'll go make my fake coffee because I can't have caffeine. I'll go and make my fake coffee. I have this beautiful window that looks out to my backyard, which is this canyon, and it's just beautiful. And if I wake up early enough in the morning, I can actually see the sun rising, and that's breathtaking for me. And then I start processing what I'm going to do that day. I start to figure out how I'm going to tackle all my goals for the day. And then after that, I go and check my phone. But sometimes it's like an hour and a half. And then I just leave it when I do a different task, right? So I'll check it. I'll I'll be on it. Sometimes I'm on it for a long time. It depends on what I'm doing. But for the most part, I allow myself 30 to 60 minutes to just let my brain thaw out and not look at anything. The thing with technology is, and the reason I'm encouraging you to do this in the morning is because when we wake up in the morning, we are on a different brainwave, right? So we are on this rest and regenerate brainwave. And then naturally that gradually will transition to the processing brainwave. So you go from, it's called delta brainwave to a theta brainwave, where you're just processing, right? So in the morning when I go and see the sunrise and it's breathtaking for me, I'm processing that. And then when I start to figure out how I'm going to tackle my goals for the day, now I'm in my alpha brainwave, my creative mode, right? And that's also the brainwave that really really minimizes the depressive thoughts. So it's really important for us to go through these transitions. And then the last thing that we go through as we're waking up is the beta brainwave, which is our go, go, go. That's what usually we're on the rest of the day. So it's a really short amount of time that we have that thawing out or decompressing stage where we transition from resting to processing to creativity to go, 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 right? When you pick up that phone, interestingly, you skip from the delta. So you go from the delta, which is the rest and regenerative, you skip the theta, you skip the alpha, and you go straight into beta. So your brain is not allowed to go from resting to thawing out a little bit to go, go, go. You are going from rest to go, 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 and the brain is just on high functioning mode the entire day. So detox, give yourself at least 30 minutes in the morning. And then during the day, as you end a task, take a step back from your phone. When you want to walk away from work or stress, don't be quick to pick up the phone. Do something different. Take a walk, right? Reach out, talk to somebody in person, right? Don't reach out for the phone and text somebody. Just put it away. Another thing that I think realtors would really benefit from is mindful listening. And mindful listening is, if you've heard of active listening, it's active listening plus compassion and empathy, right? It allows you to understand your client. It allows you to go from listening to respond to listening to understand. When you do that, you really, really can customize how you're going to interact with your client. You're going to really understand what they need, and you can really show up for them the way they need you to show up. And then hopefully your transaction will go smoothly from there. One thing I really encourage my clients to do is journaling. I have young kids starting with journaling, and it's a game changer. So when you journal, you're writing down your reflections, you're writing down your intentions, you're writing down what you're thankful for. And when you write things down, they become more tangible and manageable. It gives you focus, right? It gives you clarity. You can track back to your patterns and see where you can change things. And then there's gratitude, right? I'm huge on gratitude. If I always tell people, if you want to stay mindful, you want to stay grateful. It directs your attention to the positive aspects of your life and all the good things that you have in the present moment. So if you want to stay mindful, stay grateful. So mindfulness cultivates this positive mindset, right? No matter what the market's doing, no matter who's signing up with you and who's not, it helps you control what you can control, and it helps you adapt to the things that you can't. There's a brain guy that I listen to. If you've ever heard of Jim Quick, he's amazing. He's got a great podcast. I listen to him every day. And there's one thing that I heard him say. There are a lot of uncontrollables in life, but there are always 3 things that you can control. And hopefully you guys, I don't have my my slides, but hopefully you guys can remember this. The 3 M's. You can always control your mindset. You can always control your motivation, and you can always control your methods, right? You can control how you think of things. You can control your why. You can control how you're going to motivate and inspire yourself. And you can always have control on what actions you're going to take to attain those goals, right? But we don't practice it enough because we have all these things that get in the way, all these reasons and excuses and distractions. And I'm here to help you change that. And I want to do an exercise with you. And it's not something that we can do right now, but if you have a pen and paper, I'd really like for you guys to write this down and try this. And I'm going to give you guys my email and phone number later, and maybe you guys can text me or email me and see how you're doing with this. It's my don't do to-do list. We have a to-do list every day. Of all the things we're going to tick off every day, we're going to whatever daily task you have going, right? So this don't do to-do list is my way of getting rid of the bad behavior that kind of inhibits us from attaining some of our goals, right? So you're going to ask yourself 3 things when you're making this list. The first one, what are my typical time-wasting habits? There's a lot for me. I check my emails constantly. I don't know why. All I get is Joanne's and Michael's. So I don't know why I'm constantly checking my emails, but I check it maybe once every 15 to 30 minutes, right? So I'm trying to be mindful and staying away from that. Do you scroll through social media? That takes hours for some people, right? Are you spending much of your day texting or chatting with your friends as opposed to taking action for what you're supposed to be doing? Okay, so that's the first one. What are my typical time-wasting habits? Number 2, it's kind of similar. What behavior do I want to get rid of and why? The why is very important. What do I want to stop doing? And why do I want to stop doing it, right? For example, I want to stop checking my phone by 6 p.m. Why? Because I want to be present for my family after work. I want to stop having my phone on me when I spend time with family because I want them to feel like they have my undivided attention. I have this thing, and this is what I'm working on this week. I have this thing where I have to have my phone in my hand at all times, as if somebody super extremely important is going to call me when I'm with the most important people in my life, right? Sometimes this past weekend, we were at dinner and I had my phone on the table. And then it dawned on me, it's like I'm waiting for something to take me away from the moment that I'm spending with my family. So now I want to make sure that my phone is put away. It's in my purse. When I'm at home, it's in my room. And when I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, it's not on me. When I'm trying to talk to my family, it's not on me. Why? Because they're important. So there's the second question. The third question you want to ask yourself, how am I holding myself back? How are these behaviors keeping me from achieving my goals or living peacefully or living mindfully or living joyfully? How are they holding me back? Do they make me compare myself to other people? Does it make me complain? Does it make me criticize? Does it make me negative? So those 3 things. And then make your list visible, right? Because when you can see your list, it prevents you from slipping back to old habits. And when you write them down, as I said earlier with the journaling, it makes them more tangible and more manageable, and you can actually feel like you can get them done. And the last tip for this don't do to-do list is start with just your top 3. Because when you have a huge list of things that you don't want to do, it starts to get overwhelming and then you want to give up. Okay, so start with just the top 3 and then gradually expand from there, right? Because there's a bunch of things that we can improve upon, but just start with the top 3. And this is the part where I wish I had my slide, because it's a picture of my 2 boys with art at if you're a video game person, or if you have kids or loved ones that play video games and you've ever heard of NBA 2K, last year, we were lucky enough to go to the launch party, right? So there's this great picture of the three of them. Art's holding a trophy, and both of my boys are pointing at him. And then it leads me to talking about my boys. This is how I'm going to leave. This is how I'm going to leave you guys. Andrew is 24 years old. He graduated from college at 21. The day after graduation, he got a job with TD Ameritrade, right? Great kid, everything according to plan, right? In his senior year of college, he started to really heavily get into music. He's always been a musician, played the guitar beautifully since 7. And his junior year of high school, he told himself, one day people are going to listen to my music, right? So at the time, junior year in high school, he had 50 listeners and he was making indie music. His senior year of college, he still had 50 listeners, right? But then one day during a moment of mental fatigue and mental block, I think he was studying for finals or writing music, he decided he was going to get on the microphone and just start rapping. Just randomly start rapping. And I remember this day vividly because his room is just above mine. And I could hear him like screaming and like, you don't hear the backing tracks, right? Because he's on his headphones. So I'm just hearing him scream and I'm like, God, is he okay? So it passes. That afternoon, his brother comes home and he's like, Ryan, I made a song, like as a joke. So Ryan listens to it and he's like, dude, this is good. I'm going to post it, right? The next day it goes viral, right? And the more he makes music, the more it goes viral. So fast forward to today, needless to say, he gave up TD Ameritrade and he's monetizing and focusing 100% on music. This year, he went to the launch party of NBA 2K for 2024 because he's got a song on the soundtrack. That's where he's at, right? So your mind is powerful. Let me talk about Ryan real quick. Ryan is the marketing genius behind the music. He made his brother go viral even though he's unsigned and still independent. He's going on maybe 3 years now making music, and Andrew is. So Ryan is still promoting him, marketing him. And in January, he's going to be going to New York with a management team, and they're going to be shopping around for labels. That's what Ryan's done for his brother. Earlier this year, and he's still just a senior in college, right? Earlier this year, he told me, Mom, I'm going to start building an empire before I graduate from college. And I was like, I believe you, son. Today, he's got an apparel, a line, a clothing company, all on his own. And he started a marketing agency with a classmate at USD, all before he graduates from college. So be careful of the thoughts that you put in your mind because those thoughts are super, super powerful. If you're going to put something in your mind, it may as well be something that you want, right? Shift the narrative. Shift the story in your mind. Your brain is listening. And once your brain is listening to the thoughts, it's going to go and look for evidence to validate that thought and make those things come true for you. So what are you practicing and what are you growing in your mind? Thank you for listening. That's all I got for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joy. That was amazing. Somebody had Ryan, who had her, somebody had her, thank you for that. I think this is very appropriate for the fact that this is something very, it's not like extremely extravagant, like in detail of like being mindful. People talk about being mindful, but it encompasses so much of your life, every aspect of your life, being mindful of certain areas that most of us let it slip between the cracks. And then reality is we get down this spiral that one day we kind of lift our head and can't realize how we even got to where we're at because we've not been aware of our mindfulness of, like you said, your kids. Amazing story. Congratulations to you, Andrew and Ryan, for doing what you guys do. That's amazing. That means that anything is possible. Anything is possible. But the truth is, like most of us, and I'm a true testament of this. I mean, I'm in my 50s, but I've spent most of my years beating myself up thinking I wasn't good enough for anything, to be honest. But that's just my environment. My mindfulness has been in the negative It's the truth. I've had to work very, very hard to keep my mind in a place in which it keeps me positive. Every day I wake up, I tell myself, I have to tell myself every day that I'm amazing. I have to. That's just my place. Because if I don't, I fall short. And I fall into the gutter of things that happen in life that you get thrown at us constantly on a daily basis. And most of us people on the call can attest to all this in life. I mean, we talk about why we don't reach our goals, why we don't reach certain levels of these things we want to reach. A lot of it ultimately has to do with ourselves. We look in the mirror and we're in full control. I love that. We are all full in control of every aspect of our life. And where we end up, what we end up doing is a true testament of where we believe we belong, what we deserve, and being mindful of our entire environment that supports us, because our environment's huge too. So gosh, that was amazing. I love it. But I'm a mindset guru. Joy, I love this stuff. I can talk about it all day long. Everybody who knows it, right? It's like, if you can't figure out your mind and get this stuff figured out, the rest of this is truly irrelevant. It's not going to make sense. It doesn't. Your goals, your life, your dreams, your aspirations, it's not going to mean anything. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a bubble buster, but the truth is, if you can't figure out your mind and get it under control, the rest of this is never going to work out. It is not. That's the truth. So figure it out. In my early 40s, I plugged into myself and took a deep dive into a lot of therapy that helped me get to where I'm at today. Not saying that you guys got to do. I'm just saying y'all got to figure it out. And whatever it looks like for you, you do it. But if you want to win this game called life, you need to get very mindful of everything that she just spoke about today, because it's very true. And even without your screen today, Joy, it was amazing. I appreciate that. Does anybody, we got a few minutes. Anybody got any questions for Joy?
Yeah. Let's open it up.
Yeah.
Where can we get or hear Andrew's music?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because it started out as a joke, his name might sound funny. His name is Headband Andy. He's on Spotify. He's on all the streaming platforms. It's a lot of music that I don't understand. and I've been told not to try and figure out the lyrics for it, because it might it just might change my mind about it. So there's Andrew laughing. So yeah, it's Headband Andy on all the streaming platforms.
All right.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
check out his music. I mean, it's remarkable in itself just to see that somebody who has that goal, a junior in high school, says he's going to do something and he does it. That's what the beautiful thing about the mind. You say you're going to do it, just do it. But we find so many excuses and why we don't think we deserve it, or whatever reason.
Right. So I'm gonna expand on that. I think a lot of us, we have these goals that we set for ourselves, right? But then once we put it out there, I think that you got to let it go, and then you take that, and then come right back here and take that one step that's in front of you, just that one step. Yeah. And then after you take that one step, you take the next step, and then you just keep doing that until you get to the goal. But I think a lot of us, what we do is we set our minds on a goal and we stay there, right? We stay there and we forget to take the action, all the steps that are in front of us, because we're so stuck up there. So just set the goal, come right back here and take those steps that you need to take.
I love it. I was listening to something the other day, actually, about a guy who spoke, John Cheplack, which I don't know if you guys know him. He's a great coach in business and in real estate space. But he was talking about goals. And I think everybody has their definition and their belief system around goals and how they work. Some believe in them, some don't. There's a part of it he spoke on about how goals sometimes can be detrimental to us, because we use it as a spot in our, like, we're going to reach this goal, right? We work really hard to get to that goal, but then it ultimately it kills us, because we stop there and we don't push forward through the goal. We work to the goal. And so ultimately we kind of get to a space in our life where we get great at something, but then we just kind of cut everything off. We don't continue moving on. We don't continue growing. We don't continue developing or elevating our life. And so he was like, I want to focus not on the goal anymore. He says, I want to focus on a daily activity. A 24-hour period in a day is all I want to control. And it's what I do in a 24-hour period every day, showing up, being 110% every day, 24 hours a day. That's it. I'm not worrying about 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or even a year from now. I worry about 24 hours in a day. Outside of that, everything's irrelevant to him. In his mind, that works for him. So I was like, that's a different aspect to look at, different perspective for sure. Like, I just want to wake up every morning and work on the 24 hours I have in front of me and be the best I can be 110% in 24 hours, and make sure I can't go home or in my day until I've achieved those goals. those daily goals. So yeah, I'm looking at it more from a 24-hour period moving in 2024. Like literally 24 is 24 hours for me every day. And you get really good at 24-hour period. And then that actually exponentially just continues to grow and compound. And I will surpass my goal, whatever that looks like, just by focusing on 24-hour period. So interesting thought. I don't know what you think about that, Joy. Is it a smaller version of a larger goal? I mean, is it?
I think it's very much the same as you have your eye on a prize, but then you don't get stuck there. You come right back to here, to this moment.
Right.
And what are you going to do today? What are you going to do right now that's going to get you a step closer? Right. So it's very similar. Because like I said, oftentimes we get stuck on just imagining the goal. Rather than taking the necessary steps, because there's, like you said, 24 hours in a day that we should be doing something, right?
Yeah, I think you're so kind of focused on the goal that it actually paralyzes you.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And you can like to sit there and kind of just, I know I got to reach this goal. I got to lose 60 pounds this year. Right. That's my goal. But I'm doing nothing in a 24-hour period to actually activate that.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. It's like saying, oh, I'm manifesting a healthier body as you're laying down in bed eating ice cream.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that's not how you manifest. You got to take the steps.
Totally. Like you have to pray about it and ask God for help, but you actually got to get up and go do something, because God's not going to have it go to the front door. That's the truth. Right. You got to put some action in this, people. So yeah, I leave it in God's hands, or whatever it is you want your belief system. That's awesome. I respect that, but you got to do some work. Bottom line, you got to do some work.
Yes.
Here, exactly.
Execute. Yes.
That's it. That's the key. You know, knowledge is power, but it's not. It's actually implemented knowledge that's really powerful. Knowledge is wasteless if you do nothing with it. So you can be the smartest guy in the room and do absolutely shit with it, and that will surely what happen. I mean, that's the truth. I can be the smartest guy in the freaking room and do absolutely nothing, and that's why I'll be. So activity is everything. Execution is everything. I love it. Joy, we need this, but we need this in there. This is very appropriate and time sensitive, because we're coming on the end of the cusp of 2023. And a lot of us are probably looking in the mirror and looking at our goals and looking at what we've achieved, and we didn't reach them. Seriously, most of us, we said we didn't reach them. And
focus on that one step at a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So moving forward, now we got 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks moving into 2024. It's a restart button. It really is a restart button. So what? It didn't work out. You didn't do what you did. Let it go, right? Take it in 2 minutes, let it go. And now it's time to crush it. But be willing to change your environment, your thought process, work on the 24 hours every day, and be committed. It takes a lot, but that's what it takes to be successful. I love it. All right, Joy, thank you very much. Anybody else got any questions? We got like 4 minutes left. No? I appreciate you coming on the call and sharing your wisdom with us today, and your great story. Love your family. Love you guys' art. You guys are great. And appreciate your time. Look forward to you guys too, guys. You guys have an amazing week. I love you guys all here too. Got 2 more weeks, guys. Next Monday's Christmas, and then after that's New Year's Eve, and that's it. So we're ready to crush on 2024. Appreciate you guys. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.